Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. Very excited to have our guest coming on here in just a couple of minutes to tell you that I am surprised by his quick success would be not the truth. I expected it, but to see it actually actualize what he's done, it's truly impressive to see what he's done in such a short period of time here with our company, our comp plan, our leads, our brokerage approach towards business. And we'll get on that more, but for those of you that have been in the waiting room, happy to have so many of you on here already. We've got John Rindt coming on here in just a couple of minutes. He's going to crush it. I mean, I just wait till you meet him. Just wait till you meet him. But as I always like to season the call with these specific words is that a party is more fun with more people. So do yourself a favor, invite some people to come join you. Join America Live. We'll take them right to this website. We're also streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on Instagram, and we're streaming on YouTube concurrently at the exact same time. Very cool. Thank you, StreamYard. So join America Live. Put that in your group chats, your WhatsApps, your Telegrams, your Group Me's, your Slacks, your Discords, all the places where you put things where you want people that you care about to get better, to learn from people that are doing better than them. Send this link to them. Invite them to come learn from John and hear his mindset and his decisions he's made in his life. In the short few years when he's been an entrepreneur, the quick success he's had is from decisions that he's made day in and day out that have compounded to the level of success he's having today. So it will benefit you, but it will benefit more those that you care about, because if the circle grows around you, the circle rises up. And that's what's exciting about working with great people and inside of our incredible, great company. So we're going to jump into some quick updates, a little bit of news, and then we'll have John in here in just a couple minutes, and you're going to be blown away. So to lead it off, thank you, Integrity. Thank you, Lead Center, Life Center, all of the incredible things that we get from our parent company. 50% off right now. All leads from the lead partner, your exclusive leads, YIG. Coupon code PENCIL25 live tomorrow for all next month. They're trying to clear them out. So get in there, grab them. 50% off PENCIL25. Ignite coming up in 63 days. 63 days? Someone could correct the math for me. But Ignite's coming up here, and that will be on October 2nd in Palm Beach at the Palm Beach Convention Center. We had an incredible Ignite event just a month ago now in Phoenix, but we got a lot of agents on the East Coast too that want some love, and so we're doing it again, running it back to back, as Drake would say. Sorry, Meek Mill. If anyone gets that reference, drop a thumbs up in the comments below. But it's going to be amazing. Been working on the agenda with corporate. Over 90 trainers are going to come across the stage. People that are writing $70,000 a month, agencies that have gone from 0 to $1 million in under a year, people that are selling IULs, people that are selling annuities, great stories, passion. Our carriers will be there. Multiple panels, all kinds of different positivity coming into this event. So we're very, very excited for this event coming up. IgniteEvent.com. As checked yesterday, 1,018 people have already registered. Real quick, Jade, how much are we going to charge them to come to this event? Zero. It's free. I mean, I don't know. Some companies are trying to turn you into a profit center. At FFL, we're just trying to make you profitable. And that's a pretty cool place to be. Show up, get better, learn from those around you, learn from those that are making it happen. Get yourself registered, get your plane tickets booked, hotel booked, IgniteEvent.com. See you there. Top agency, 2 weeks into July, right? It's the end of July, but when you're calculating millions of dollars of commissions paid out, it takes the computer a little bit of time. We need to get ChatGPT on these. ChatGPT works incredibly fast. AI works fast, but regardless, let's give some love to our top people right now. Well, first, $5,798,260 issue paid 2 weeks into July. 1,325 total agents inside of our agency that were paid a commission in those 2 weeks and growing. Wait till you see the end of this month. We have 14 million in June. I'm scared to see what we do in July, August, September, and beyond. So scared in a good way, you know, like when you're going to watch a movie that you chose to go sit down and watch because you bought the ticket at the, outside. That a good scared. So shout out to our top 20, Adam A, 21,000, Javier R, 21,000, Daniel W, 21,000, Kyle Y, 21,000, Alexander C, 22,000, Lionel S, 22,000, Logan H, 23,000. Who else we got? Logan H, Stephen M, 23,000, Joseph C, 23,000, Montserrat Vargas, had her on a call a couple month or so ago. She's fantastic. 24,000, Carlos T, 24,000, Vontre H, 25,000, Santiago M, 25,000, Sean N, 27,000, Gabriel S, 27, Michael A, 35, Randall B, 36, Hamza S, 43, William R, 58, and Lauren H. Someone's got to be number one. Might as well be Lauren, 63,000, 2 weeks in. Leads matter. So great job, everybody. Top 100 agents so far for the month. Crushing it here, now, and into the future. So one of our favorite things we love to do is help agents become more efficient, and you can't do it on your own, right? One of the biggest, most pivotal moments to my business growth was the day that I met my business assistant and business assassin, Jay Dismukes. That was a pivotal day in my career because at that moment, I took responsibility to go from being an employee to being a business owner and making the decision that I needed to invest into my business in order to help it grow. Well, turned out to be one of the best decisions and sales pitches of my life. And now Jade and I have been together for 6 years and still growing. So on top of that, one of the things that we do now is from a virtual world. We live in this virtual world where it is incredibly difficult to manage all the follow-up, the client follow-up, persistency, carrier care, lead development, lead nurturing. And the tool that I see so many top producers using now is Lead Champ Pro. It is built by 2 producers that have collectively issued over $3 million together in their short career here selling life insurance. And they saw a hole in the industry and a problem with client follow-up, lead follow-up, being able to keep more business on the books, being able to nurture leads. When you buy the lead, the 2 things are going to happen. They're either going to tell you to piss off and don't call me again, or at some point they're going to buy. We want to get to that some point they're going to buy. The problem is most agents give up after 3, 6, or 9 calls, and they go, those leads don't answer. Well, try them again in a month. Try them again in 2 months. Well, that's so, we live in a very instant gratification business because we can sell and get such high commissions that we just go buy more leads. That's a great idea. But how much money are you missing by not working your existing book of clients, by not nurturing leads that you got in that just maybe aren't responding right now? Maybe they're out of town, maybe they're out of the country, maybe they're busy, maybe the timing's not right and they just kind of ignored you. So Lead Champ Pro has done a phenomenal job. I've talked about them before. We got many calls, but they got hundreds of clients now, and they do us a favor. They're $297 a month, but you get $50 off if you use code FFL. So we appreciate that. We appreciate the recognizing us and what we bring to the table. And so if you're a top producer, take a look at them. If you're a brand new producer, this isn't for you. Stick to Lead Center, stick to Life Center. Phenomenal tools in there. Life Center does a great job of getting you started, of helping you quote, of helping you get right into the apps. But when you're ready at that next level, that 20, 30, 40,000 a month and up level, this is where you really need to kind of manage your business to maximize your ROI, maximize profitability. So we love Lead Champ Pro for that. They got 3 new buttons in the CRM in their back office: add a beneficiary, add a referral, and add a year. And I saw a post came out last week that one of their agents was writing $10,000 a week off just beneficiary leads that were generated from the system. And, book a demo with them. They'll explain how it works better. But anytime production is being had off of not having to buy leads is a great way to go. Now, it's important to have leads because when you don't have leads, you're out of business, right? But if you can generate them on your own and let the CRM do it all for you and book the appointments on autopilot, that's pretty cool as well. So one more update from them. They just came out with a power dialer as well, fully integrated into their CRM. So I know agents right now are I mean, power dialers are fascinating if you have a lot of leads. Again, if you're a new agent, this isn't for you. I'm talking to, let me back up. When I was very young, not yet very young, in my younger entrepreneur years, I had a mentor that made a ton of money, and he used to talk to me about all these tax things and S corps and all the REITs and retirement trusts and all these things. And I would be like, I don't make the money you make. And he's like, yeah, but don't you want to? And I was like, well, I do. Yeah. He's like, so these are the things you need to prepare for mentally for the future, about things to get and that mindset, right? So for you as a new agent, right? Do you need Lead Champ and the Connect Power Dialer right now? No, you need to buy leads and dial your face off, use Lead at Life Center, use the simple tools, keep your costs low and your energy high, right? But your goal should be to make enough where you can then afford a great CRM and their power dialer, and you can then maximize your efficiency, and you can hit these 50, 75, 100K a month personal production because you're a badass producer because you work at FFL. That's what's possible. So they just came out with the power dialer. I know a bunch of people jumped on it. They're loving it. It's all fully integrated. So just some information for you guys who are top producers to jump on. Couple more things, and we'll have John on here in just a minute. Savage Sales Solutions, or Savage Sales Bootcamp. Our CEO, Sean Mike, has another business where he helps coach entrepreneurs. And I will tell you that my life would be, I don't even know the word. I was thinking of infinitesimally, because that's a very big way. It's a very big word. But my life would be considerably different if I have not had the privilege of spending time with Sean Mike and getting in his circle and getting in his ear and learning from the mindset of one of the absolute most successful entrepreneurs that has ever graced this earth. He is phenomenal. And if you've not had the chance to spend time with him, this event is coming up actually October 3rd, the day after the Palm Beach Ignite event. So if you're planning on going to Ignite Palm Beach, look into this event as well, because it will serve you so well to get a chance to learn from one of the pinnacle, absolute most incredible entrepreneurs with mindset, sales tips, agency building ideas, all kinds of things to help you grow. And so I know the last event he had 400, 500, 1,000 people at it. This one's expected to be the exact same situation. So get your tickets while you can and join us. We got a quick video from Sean as well.
October 3rd, Palm Beach Convention Center, right here in West Palm Beach, Florida. Savage Sales and Recruiting Bootcamp, one entire day. Everything you want to get for you and your business as a salesperson, as a sales manager, as a sales leader. You're new to sales, you're new to managing agents, you're building a business, you're trying to scale it, you're focused on your profitability. Going to go over real life scenarios, real call, phone scripts, objections, attitude, mentality, everything you could want to get in one day. You don't want to miss it. It's an event actually filled with real information that'll make a real difference for your business and create real profitability. So I hope to see you there. Click link below. I'll see you October 3rd, Palm Beach Convention Center, Savage Sales and Recruiting Bootcamp.
I will be there. Andrew Taylor will be there. Nina and Hayden will be there. Jay Maskell will be there. Caitlin Garner will be there. Zach Twardowski will be there. Anybody who you're learning from and listening to in this business will be at that event trying to get better. So I highly advise you, if you're going to Ignite, might as well go to that as well. And if you're planning on just going to that, well, come a day early and join us at Ignite. Let's get double better. So, guys, let's just get to the fun stuff, because I'm super excited for this. But let me bring them on here in just a second. Is as we sit in this business and think about sacrifice and think about what it takes to truly become successful, oftentimes we take reflectionary measures and look back into ourselves and look back on the choices we've made, and we can begrudge the choices we made. We can be empowered by the choices we made, and then we can impact others with the choices we've made. And I am so grateful for, the young man we're about to bring on here in a second, of him having the foresight and vision for himself, for his family, his future family, and for his agents to provide a platform for people to have a bigger and better vision. And you may not know enough about us yet. You may not completely like us. You may be confused, but I'll tell you that when you get to hear from John here in just 15 seconds, I'm bringing him on, you're going to go, well, if he made the decision to be a part of this great company, then maybe there's more to it than what I've been told, right? It's not what you know and what you've been told. It's what you've actually gone out and seeked and sought yourself. And so without further ado, let's bring him on and let's have some fun. What's up,
Hey,
man?
how you doing?
Doing great, man. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed, man. I always say anytime someone asks me how you doing, I say I woke up today, so it started off great.
I love it. Well, let me give you a good intro, and I like that response. So, all right, hello, everybody. Grady Pulse, the American Agency. So excited to have John Rindt on with us today. I met John, fortunately, by the good recruiting measure of Mr. Jay Maska a few months ago. Hayden and I went and had some lunch with him, picked our brains, asked us 100 questions, and in the end, it worked out. And, fast forward a few months, John's agency's doing around $400,000 as a team. And to tell you, just to give some clarity, when I hit vice president at $150,000 a month in 6 months, that was the fastest anyone had ever done it in the history of the company. And that's like Roger Bannister, right? Someone's got to do the 4-minute mile and break the 4-minute mile, because when they were talking about breaking the 4-minute mile, all the scientists thought, they go, you can't do it, your heart will explode. And then now someone does it, and then now the company progresses, we grow, we go virtual, and then we start attracting great people like yourself, John, and you come in and in 60 days get to 400,000. And this is a testament to our opportunity, to your respect and trust as a leader, but also, the desire for people to have more. And I think you've painted that picture very well, that what we do here at FFL and how they can have more. And that's very exciting. So I was so, excited to meet you, excited to see you come in here and do what you said you were going to do. Because that's a big thing. A lot of talkers out there. Oh man, I've done this. I've made so much money doing this. I mean, I run the biggest solar team ever, and I'm going to come in and crush it. And then they don't sell. And I'm like, all right, I'm glad you keep knocking doors in Peoria, because at some point you're going to have to get on the phones and sell some people and care about them. But you came in, you did what you said you're going to do, and I'm super excited to just hear the story, from where we are up till today. So, Pastor, you, brother, give us some background, some insight, some clarity on who John is, and we're really excited about this call.
Yeah, 100%. So for myself, I'll just start like growing up as a kid. Grew up in Seattle, Washington. Dad was in the military. When I was about 14, 15 years old, he made some bad decisions. Went to prison for however many years, and I moved out at 15. To Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to live with my uncle, while my mom and my sister lived at my grandparents' house because she couldn't find a job, bad situation, didn't really know what to do. So for me, we had a good family, had money, and then it all came crashing down. And from that day, I kind of made the decision to myself that I would never let something like that happen. I know money is important. I saw my family with money and I saw it without money. Didn't mean we weren't happy together, but I could see there was more options and more opportunities to do things together, right? So starting off there, to be completely honest with you, I watched Wolf of Wall Street and I was like, this looks awesome. Let's do all this without all the crazy stuff. I want to make a ton of money, have boats, whatever. And, from there, I feel like I was just seeking an opportunity. And, fast forward, I was 17 years old, ended up meeting a CEO of a previous company I was at the gym. And one thing he told me is, you could go to college and spend $25,000 a year, graduate $100,000 in debt, or if you work really hard at a sales job, he said, even if you only make $100,000 a year, you're $500,000 ahead of everyone 4 years in. And that made sense to me. College didn't make sense to me, but that equation made so much sense to me. I'm like, okay, well, I could probably start a business with $500,000 and get somewhere way faster than just going to college, making 60, 70 grand. And everyone I know that went to college wasn't doing like anything crazy. And that's not to bash anyone going to college. But so for myself, I made the decision to go all in that opportunity. So I knew for myself, I said, even if this doesn't work out, as long as I can tell myself I did absolutely every single thing I possibly humanly could, if I do fail, I would be okay with that, right? Because that's not really failure in my opinion. Failure is just not giving it 100%, giving it your all, and then you quit and you have regrets. The one thing I don't want to have regrets in my career, my family life, my relationships, is I just don't want to have any regrets. So, at that company, my first year, I was the number one sales agent out of, I don't know, maybe like 500 reps at 18 years old. I made like 250,000. I was on top of the world. Next year in, I started building an agency. got my cousin, a couple other guys in, and we started, hammering the phones. I think that year I made another $250,000. And then something clicked to me where I was like, okay, well, if I can do this, if I can just show other people who I am and what I'm able to do, then I'm going to attract more people. So that's when I got really big into social media, started like telling my story, showing people what I did, and just growing an online presence and building my personal brand. Like, you'll never see me in another t-shirt. It says Rindt with my last name on it. Everything is personally branded, right? So I knew if I could personally brand myself, people would be attracted to that, because I was, attracted to someone that personally branded themselves. That year, smashed a bunch of records, was one of the number one guys in the whole entire company, made $538,000 at 21 years old. Wow. I literally in 1 month, I bought a house, put an $80,000 down payment on a house and a $40,000 down payment on an Audi R8. Like, it was like we'll talk about Wolf of Wall Street. Like, that was it, right? I'm living the dream. And then, fast forward the next year, we did more production, I made less. And then fast forward the next year, we did more production and I made even less. So for me, it just didn't make sense. I could see the goalpost being pushed out further. And I just knew I needed a business where the goalpost wasn't getting pushed out further, because I can perform, but I don't need to perform under somebody else's circumstances, right? So that's pretty much from all the way back to when I was a kid to now. That's kind of been my journey. And then fast forward now, I ended up, thankfully, meeting Jay Maska. He actually worked at my previous company. He slept on the basement under the stairs with 10 other guys and literally sleeping bags and blankets. And I had the master bedroom at the time. But we were at the same company together, and, he texted me and he said, hey, let's go grab dinner. And, so I took him up on it, and, I thought, how stupid would I be to not, at least hear out the opportunity? Because everybody knows, you go to any other company, FFL is like jail. Like, it's terrible. You're $5 million. They take the chargebacks out of your bank account. They put foreclosures on your house, whatever they're saying. So I was scared crapless, right? I was literally mind controlled to think that this company wasn't exactly what it said it was. So, I'm like, all right, whatever. Might as well meet Jay. I see he has a cool car, it's a nice house, living a way cooler lifestyle. And when I knew he was living a cool lifestyle, it's kind of funny. He was on a boat on a Thursday afternoon. And I'm like, dude, if I went on a boat on a Thursday afternoon, I might be killed. I literally might be killed. I'm going to get ripped for doing anything that I liked, right? So, I meet up with Jay Maska, me and my fiance, and we were talking, and I was just asking him questions. It wasn't he was trying to recruit me right then and there, but I was just asking him questions. And every single thing made sense, right? Everything made sense, all the way from the leads to the systems to the structures. So we get back in the car, me and my fiance, we look at, it was out of a movie. We look at each other, we shake our head. We're like, yep, this is what we're going to do for sure. So, I transitioned over here into the brokerage space, and, I just checked the IP reports. We're 350,000 through week 3. And, we're recruiting heavy. We're teaching how to build. We're teaching people how to build their personal brands. But I'm super excited to be here. This is literally almost life-saving. So I'll kind of backtrack. At the old company I went with, I became some sort of an owner, quotations on owner, because you really don't own your business. And for myself, they told me, hey, you're going to have to start developing leads. The best owners are developing leads. And I'm like, oh, well, I buy the leads from you guys. And they're like, okay, start developing a lead. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be coachable. I'm gonna start developing leads. Maybe that's what I'm missing. So I started developing leads, and then I started selling the leads. But the only thing is, they wanted life insurance. They just didn't want our product. So I'm like, okay, we don't have the leads. We don't have the products. And if I just got paid more money, I could obviously do my marketing way better myself. So why am I giving up a percentage of my commission to this company to do the leads, the products, and the marketing, when if you just gave me that extra money, I could do it, so much better. So once I realized, life insurance leads work, because I've never called someone that requested life insurance in my life. Once I realized life insurance leads work and that there are actual better products out there, I was 100% sold on going into the brokerage space, landed with Jay, and I guess the rest is to be continued.
Bro, Wow, that's one, congrats on your mindset and your decisions you've had to make and the quick success being coachable. I mean, 538,000 at 21. I mean, you're doing something right. And then the progression to here we are. I have a few comments on all that and then we'll keep going. But like, I love the bad rap that FFL has. Because we don't know. I mean, I only talk to people that are interested in working with us, right? And so, but you don't know what these other companies are saying about us. And then in the end, you're like, we're going to do 800 million in commissions this year. I mean, we're not growing at the meteoric levels because the opportunity to provide is anything other than what it is at face value. And so that was enjoyable for me to hear. But here's where I have some questions. So one, I would love you to dig in a little bit more just for the new agents or anyone that's watching, because there's new agents that have come here from other sales opportunities that are just like, this seems great, right? You've got leads, you got great training, you got great comp, you got bonuses, you got trips, you got carrier bonuses, you got carrier trips, you got all these things, this is just the way it is, right? So they don't exactly know that there's another world out there. But what that comparison is, but also at the same standpoint, you said that you're at year 21 or 22 and 23, you did more volume and made less money. So what happened? Like what, without using names, obviously what did they do? Like, cause that way we can clarify, like, cause there hasn't been a comp plan change in the 10 years I've been here. The only one that happened, it was in 2019, Sean changed the top comp from 140 to 145. That's the only comp plan change that's been here as long as I have worked at this company. So I would love to hear kind of the differentiating things that maybe happen other places.
Yeah. So one thing you have to ask yourself when you join a sales opportunity is like, is this for example, is this a life insurance sales opportunity where you have the opportunity to recruit if you want to? And then the other side of the industry is this a recruiting company that's, market selling life insurance, right? So, whenever there's, numbers or, benchmarks you have to hit tied to recruiting, it's not, profitable to sell the life insurance, right? So when the average agent isn't making money and the top managers are making a ton of money and the vision is to recruit, get as many people in here as possible, then that's when you're at a recruiting company that happens to somehow sell life insurance, right? So for myself, the recruiting objectives gets bigger, the bonuses go down over time. You have to do more production to get into those bonuses. And for myself, I'm a fast mover. That's one thing I'm like proud of myself about is like, I'm not scared to take the jump. I was an owner at that company. Get this. I pulled out $100,000 personal loan to fund that business. I think I made $70,000 in 7 months at an owner at a previous company, right? So I blew through $100,000. I gave every single thing I could. And when I realized this isn't going to work, it was a fast pivot because I realized the agent wasn't making money. I was making okay money, but it still wasn't the money that, I was used to. Usually when you get a promotion, you get a pay increase, I wasn't getting a pay increase. So it didn't make any sense. And I was working like literally harder than I ever had in my life.
Got it. So just changes, right? They're just making it harder. And when you look at it, why would they do that? They're not making money. So they've got to change some things internally to keep the company profitable. Now, oftentimes when you have big old companies, there's a lot of people wearing, ties in a high tower that's got to get paid. And, Bob and Steve and Jim and Tim don't want to take a pay cut. So let's take it from the reps. Let's just, the volume's still, so it's an antiquated philosophy. I mean, fortunately, FFL runs thin. I mean, that's one of Sean's visions from early on is that his mentality was, how can I pay the agents as much money as absolutely possible and make as little as possible to keep the company open? And the margins have been the same, if not gotten smaller from then. But those small margins, like Amazon, have equated to now a gigantic company because you create an environment where people don't want to leave. So okay, so you've given us some insight, but now you're a broker. So what is so if we were to talk like captive versus broker, what are some 3, 5, 17 different differences and things that you have that you love now that you were back in the day just thought this is just the way it is?
Yeah, for sure. So, I'll almost take you like through my recruiting pitch. It's like, if you look at the pillars of life insurance, okay, the first thing you got is leads, right? ask yourself a question, use this thing called common sense. If I'm talking to people who request life insurance versus requesting another product, and then you slip the word life insurance in, cross your fingers, hope they buy, just use common sense. Which one do you think is more interested in life insurance? Probably the person who's requesting life insurance for their family, right? So that was the first thing that I noticed that was wrong about the business that I was in. Now, the second thing is you have products, right? So when you can only sell one product, who's fighting over your business? No company's fighting over your business. So they don't have to make the applications easier. They don't have to innovate the product because the reps are going, they can only they're captive. They're in chains. They're locked up to only sell that product. In the brokerage space, you got 30, 50 different life insurance companies you can sell for. They're fighting for your business. So what are they going to do? They're going to make the product cheaper, not cheaper, but less expensive for the client. They're going to make the product better for the client, and they're going to make the pay good for the agent, and they're going to make sure that the application is easy for the agent. So the biggest thing I know on the product side is there's literally zero innovation on the captive side because, I mean, you're literally captive. You can't do anything about it, right? So for me, I like to do good by people, and I realized there's a way to do better by people. It put such a bad taste in my mouth, for the captive agency side. And then if you look at marketing, right? Build it, we're in the era of like social media, building your own brand, everything like that. Nobody cares what your company's doing. They want to know what you're doing, right? So for me, at a previous company, I'm giving up maybe 60, 70, 80% of my commissions to this company to have cool names, sponsor cool things, whatever they're doing with the money. For myself, I'm able to take that money, build my own personal brand. And I promise you, just like I saw Jay Maska on a boat on a Thursday, that's going to convince someone to go want to work with you rather than, hey, we work with so-and-so and do so-and-so and, whatever that may be. So, looking at the marketing side, the next best thing, the best way to market, as Grady, is to get results, right? So, FFL, what I tell everyone is in 13 years, they're doing $800 million in production. If you go look at the other captive side of any captive side, what kind of growth do you guys have? Have you guys been open for 50 plus years, 75, 100 plus years? You can't even touch the amount of production that we're touching. So then again, one of my favorite words, common sense, comes in. Do you think people are staying because it's worse? Of course not. They're not staying because it's worse. They're staying because it works. And just like you said, the agents are making money. Therefore, the managers are making money. Therefore, that they have a stable business. For me, I don't have to send text messages out to recruit. I attract. It's called magnetic marketing because they're attracted to me because I'm able to build a business, build a personal brand, have not work 97 hours, a day, and then get yelled at for my production and the goalpost doesn't keep getting pushed out. So when people realize, the captive space versus the brokerage space, there's not one, you could name anything. There's not one part of the business that's better than ours. Not one.
I need a microphone to drop, bro. That was, I mean, I think that it's unfortunate that we don't make everybody go work at a captive company before they come here, right? It's like, or we don't charge a ton for people to join because they take it for granted. Now, many people take it for gratitude and they just work their faces off and they build incredible lives here. Many people do that, but the majority is just a common, laws of society is most people will come and they go, well, they got leads, but one person didn't answer. And it's still a business, ladies and gentlemen, and they're leads. They're not sales, right? You got to talk to them, right? But on a scale of 100 leads, 25 are ready to buy, 50 you're going to have a conversation with, and 25 already died. So it's just kind of the way it is. So but as we progress, to hear your passion about coming from where you were and the frustration and you've got some trauma from late night, early morning text messages of people just harassing you. You're like, I'm one of the top guys here. Why are you yelling at me still? Okay, well, yell at me long enough, mother father. I'm gonna take my business elsewhere. Well, here we are. So, any more you want to share just on captive brokerage, and we can transition to kind of how you're getting agents rolling so fast, because I think that's important for everybody to learn from too. But any other parts of this?
Yeah, I would say one thing, like if you want to know if you're in the right space, what are people telling you to do? Another big thing is, what are people telling you to do with your money? I know at previous companies I was with, they get their first 5-10 grand in the bank. They're financing a Rolex to recruit. They're putting 10 grand down on $100,000 car after their first big month, right? So look at what people are telling you to do. Is it in the best interest of yourself financially? Is it in the best interest of your family financially in the future? Or is it in the best interest to build somebody else's team? Is it in the best interest to build somebody else's business? And then for people who say because obviously, Greg, you probably know one of the biggest rebuttals we get about Family First Life is, oh, you got to pay for leads. These people are going to give it to us for free, right? Yeah. Well, people need to realize, I don't know any business in America that doesn't pay for marketing or leads, right? Because if all a lead is an opportunity for a sale. If you ever see an Amazon buy this vacuum, all that is an opportunity for Amazon to get a sale, right? So if you're a real business, but you're not buying opportunities and you're having somebody else go and buy those opportunities and taking a pay cut, and they're not even doing it the best way in the industry, then you're just at the wrong place. So when people say, oh, I got to buy leads, I mean, starting commissions at captive companies, you just ChatGPT it, you'll figure it out. We're going to pay you almost 150% more so you can invest into leads. So even if you made the same, what I tell people is even if you made the same percentage off of the sale that you do there, which we make way more, that's not even a question. Even if you made the same percentage, you can buy the best leads. You can start your brand new producers, on the freshest leads that the top producer that just wrote $1 million in a year is doing. So it's just a better way for your business, And then I always like to ask people, what's your tax ID number? What's the EIN? Do you actually own a business? Probably not, right? 1099. But that's pretty much it on the captive space. I would say
it's so good because any business is spending money on marketing. Your Amazon approach was spot on. That this is our marketing dollars. Now, some people, in fact, most aren't mature enough or self-disciplined enough to be business owners. And they might be best served taking a 40% comp at a captive company that's giving them free leads and a 60% advance because you don't have the discipline. Now, we're not here to negotiate or argue the principles of math, right? But spending money on interested people and having a 150% higher compensation rate is just math, right? That's just the simplicity of this business. And I love when because when the people that get it or go, oh, that makes way more sense. This is just who you want to, we're not looking for everybody. And if the people that are arguing about that is someone that just doesn't understand it, and that's okay. Just stay where you are. Just you do you, man. You do you. But those that get it, come over here. And that's what I love about leads so much, is that leads are people that truly love their family so much. They're filling out a request on a paper card and mailing it in. They're calling on the phone and giving personal information, or they're filling out a form online and hitting send and waiting for a stranger to reach out to them to talk about how they can protect the people they love the most. And to tell us that, right now we're blessed to be partnered with Integrity Marketing Group, $15 billion insurance juggernaut, who has created Lead Center that has at this moment 500,000 ready to purchase leads. 100,000 of them are brand new, generated in the last 7 to 30 days. 400,000 of them are aged. Guess what? None of those leads in there have bought insurance because our Lead Center talks to the carriers. That's what billion-dollar companies do. So if they bought insurance, boop, we delete out a Lead Center. If they never bought, they just roll into an aged lead. We had Christina Andy on a couple months ago, who spends $150 a week on leads, buying 100 bronze aged mortgage bronze final expense mailers for $1.50 each. She gets $150 in leads, calls them, reaches out to them, takes some time because they're old leads, and then digs out referrals because she came from a company like yours where it was 100% basically. If you're not getting sales unless you're getting referrals, and that's the beauty though. A lead is a chance. So, John, I love it, man. So, I would love if you'd talk now about how, your training approach, your new agent launch approach, your sales approach, anything about what's done, because anybody can leave a company, but very few if not just one, leave a company and in 60 days get to the level of production you're doing. So yes, it's a testament to you. Yes, you're badass. Yes, you killed it. But my success and your success in the past don't yield a new person's success. And right now you're proving new people can be successful here. So what are you doing to help them launch so fast?
Yeah, so I'd say one thing, the leaders we have on the team, they're absolutely incredible. I mean, a lot of them have come from different sales opportunities and have the exact same passion that I do to save every single agent. Like our why is bigger than we just want to make money. We want to take people in a broken spot, help them fix it up, and let them have, a nice life for their family where, they don't have to work 12 hours a day. They don't, have to, get harassed by their manager or whatever. Right. So first off, it's just the leaders I have are absolutely, top ones we got, I've ever had in my life. So, but for, the new agents starting them out, I think the biggest thing I feel like that I tell people when they start is the biggest mistake people make is they buy a lead pack, they make some profit off of it, and they just hound the lead pack over and over and over again for like 2-3 weeks. And they're like, I'm not getting any sales. And then now they used all that money to pay their bills. And, now they're like back to square one, no money, like starting their sales career all over again. Right. So what I tell people is we buy leads every Monday and every Thursday, right? Every Monday, every Thursday, whatever you're comfortable investing into, like, let's say, whether it's $100 a week or, twice a week or, $500 twice a week, just make sure you can do that for 2 weeks before you start. Make sure you have, if it's $500 twice a week, you have $2,000 that you can go and invest. And then you're going to hit those leads as hard as possible until you get your next batch and really just do it all over again. So one thing I'm blessed with, partnered up with Jay Maska, is, we have an agency trainer. He trains 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, takes, pressure off of our managers back to teach the simple things. So, we throw them in there. That's for 90 days. So it's continuing, their education throughout the first 90 days. And we give them the script. We run through the script with them. We show them how to use the Integrity Center quoter and then go to the carrier and write the application. And we really just teach them, we have like a whole media center of rebuttals. We have a whole media center of all of our scripts. Everything is so available to every agent. Like, I genuinely think if I, just disappeared and just handed it all to these guys, they could build a big business. You know what I mean? So we all do everything on Discord, and each individual team has their separate tab where they're just in there every single day. They might start off in the morning, doing like 10, 20, 30 minutes of role play, and then boom, it's sell the rest of the day. We don't have a ton of meetings. We do workshops 2 times a week, sales workshops about 2 times a week. And we're just continuously pouring into our people because, again, if you can teach the agent to make money, the managers are going to be happy and the managers are going to make money. So our focus is to just get people making money as fast as possible. If the new agent doesn't have enough money for leads, I'm going to take money out of my pocket, maybe split it with a manager. We're going to get them leads. But within 2 weeks, they're always fully self-sustainable because we've taught them how to manage their money with buying leads. Maybe set half aside at first and half aside. You may not even use that full half, but let's try to do it smartly. And then we just have them run the game plan. I mean, it's so simple. I feel like coming from a company that I did come from and coming to this, it's like I look at myself. I'm like, I texted Jay. I was like, hey, man, our visions don't align. Like, get the F out of here or something like that, like 2 years ago, right? I'm just like, dude, I was an idiot because I look at these people and I'm like, how are you still there? This is it's as easy as it possibly could be. Not easy, but it's as simple as it possibly could be. And then we just preach hard work. Like I said, we have great leaders that are writing a ton of production. And the best way to train someone, Grady, and you probably agree, is to just write a ton of production in front of themselves so they know the work it takes. They hear what you're saying every day on a daily basis. It's really just leading from the front. We got a bunch of leaders that lead from the front. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's why we're doing what we are.
I love it. So buy leads every Monday and every Thursday, whatever amount you can. If it's 100, 200, or 500, have that amount. So pick an amount that you can invest, divide it by 4, have it ready for Monday, Thursday next week. You got 4 batches of new leads. You're conditioning them to purchase continuously. When they buy the leads, you've got to activate the money, which then, turns you into a business owner. You spend the marketing dollars, go service the customers that come in, make them hamburgers, whatever. Yeah. So, I love it all, man. It's fantastic. So let's dig in a tiny bit more. What leads are you starting them on?
Yeah, so we start them on, age vets or some of the bronze leads, for guys who, don't have a ton of money in the bank, or, we'll just invest. All my leaders are pretty good about investing into their business because, again, they're business owner oriented and, I've showed them how to be business oriented. But yeah, we start them off on the age and then we get them on the fresh as fast as possible, because I feel like what I tell my guys is if you have more time than you do money, run age leads because it's going to take a lot more calls, but it's probably going to be a higher percentage of profit because you're putting in that much work. And when you start to have more money than you do time, then start getting into the fresh leads because you're not wasting time. You're on sales calls all day and you're just flipping money.
Yeah, that's good. Now, predominantly final expense to start.
Yeah, veterans and a little bit of truckers.
Not to beat up on your previous captive company more than we should or more than they deserve, but what is it like having a full plethora of whole life products that you can offer now?
Yeah, so well, first things first is you don't get people to get declined, and then you have to just be like say see you later to the check and see you later to helping the family. So you can pretty much qualify anybody at pretty much any age range. You can get them the best product in the market for them. And overall, I go to bed at night knowing I'm doing the right thing for my clients. While beforehand, did I want to do what's right for the client or did I want to make money? I would have said I wanted, to make money when I was super young. But once you get older, you start to understand it's like, okay, there's a reason why there's just a bunch of young kids there. There's a reason why they do this is because you don't know exactly what's right and what's wrong until, you meet someone like Jay Master, you meet someone like myself, and we can show you these products. So for example, I've done some quotes and stuff, and it's sometimes they're 30, 50% cheaper. And it's like that is, what $100 is to a normal family. That's going out on the weekend and taking the kids out or something like that. So I'm just glad that I can do right by people, still make money and grow a big business doing so.
What is your, I know right now is a lot of previous people or other sales industries, but what is your, do you have a general recruiting pitch that kind of something you open with, or is it common sense? Then we talk about leads, products, marketing. Is anything in that vein that you can expand on for everybody?
So like I said, I'm a big on the magnetic marketing, attracting individuals. I don't really reach out to too many people at all. What I do is if you go on my Instagram, you'll see is who's my target audience for this recruiting post, right? I'm going to make a recruiting post. Instagram Reels, if you don't know, is the best thing to get yourself out there and get people looking at your stuff that's maybe not following you now or things like that. So I think, who do I want to recruit, right? So for example, if it's a pest control guy, right? I think, okay, what's probably the worst thing about pest control? Okay, I feel for me, I'm okay, well, if I had to leave and go in the Arizona sun in the summer and sell solar or pest control
out right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Or anywhere else. Right. It's 100, 200 degrees outside. I just walked from my car in here and I was sweating bullets. I'm I would don't want to leave my family for 3 to 5 months. 2, it's getting deployed, in the military, goodbye family, see you later. My dad did that. Don't want to do that for the rest of my life. So I think, okay, that's a problem with the business. Now I'm going to make a recruiting post that shows why we don't have to do that. We're in an air conditioned office. You don't have to sweat all day. You don't got to kiss your wife goodbye and say, see you in 3 to 4 months, because I got to feed the family, but I'm just not going to see the family. Right. So, I just pick something out about an industry I'm going to recruit from. Now, if it's new people, it's okay, what do new people want to hear? I want to do something for low cost, $300 insurance license. I got started. Now I make this much amount of money a month. And I just, show them how, whatever struggle you're having in this industry or in your life, we can help fix that. And I do it through, Instagram videos, Instagram stories. And that's how I get all of my people. So for example, there's people coming from various different, IMOs and insurance agencies and, captive companies to our team. And it's like, I'm just showing them why we're better. And if you want to hit me up and come over here, then, I think that's great. Again, I don't need to reach out to people. I'm just showing them what's possible and showing them what's wrong with their business so they can make the decision. I don't need to make the decision for anybody else. People that are going to do the best here are going to make the decision for themselves and then hit you up.
You push them to a call, push them to a video, push them to a website.
I push them to a call. I'll take a call at any single time of the day. If it's midnight and I'm in bed, I'm taking the call. I'm talking to them. And, for me, it's like if they have a couple people they want to bring, I'm going to bring them in, directly train them. And, if not, I'm going to just hand them off to one of my managers that I feel like they work best with. Jay always says you want to grow wide and you want to grow deep. So, I'm just making sure that we're growing wide. And at the same time, we're adding some people on and helping out our guys.
John, I love it, man. This has been fantastic. I would love, what any of the things that have been on your heart that you want to share and, or, some final thoughts you've got to close everybody out who's going, dude, this is, I'm not taking full advantage of this opportunity. And John is, and he's going to go recruit my cousins if I don't get to work. So, I
will. So I would say, from the beginning of my career in insurance, this isn't just, don't compare your chapter 1 to my chapter 20. I've been in insurance for 6 years. I made a very big name for myself in insurance and just the insurance space in general. And I've done 5 years of building my own brand. Number one, start today, right? For me, when I came in, the number one thing that I thought was I don't want to have any regrets, right? For me, the number one thing I want in life, I want to be a dad, right, Grady? Like, you're a dad. It's awesome. You were telling me, it's the best thing ever. I want to be a dad. I want to have kids. Me and my fiance, she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. For me, I don't want to have to look at my son and say, hey, I didn't try hard enough, and that's why we aren't where we are. That's my biggest fear, 100% hands down. So I told myself from the beginning, there's absolutely nothing that I won't do to become successful. I'm going to do everything that I can to become successful, because if I am not successful, I can at least say I did my best, right? And if you can't say you did your best and you left, then yes, you failed, right? But if you did your best and you failed, you didn't actually fail. You just learned a lesson. And then the last thing that I'll close it off with is, the Alex Hormozy quote's my favorite quote ever. And it's just, show yourself that you are who you say you are, right? Are you saying that you're a top producer, but you're not doing top producer activity? Are you saying that you're a great leader, but, you're not really leading your people, you're just doing something else and they're kind of fending for themselves? I know at the end of the day, when I lay my head down to rest, John Rindt is who he says he is. He's going to continue to win and he's never going to lose, because that's the last thing that I would like to do. But that would be it.
Bro, that's awesome. That is, it's a mindset that has taken time to develop and adopt, but at the same time, your actions have then conditioned your beliefs to now this is just, it's almost the principles that live inside your soul. And that's some deep stuff, dude. But at the same time, everybody, like he said, don't compare your chapter 1 or chapter 3 or chapter 7 to his chapter 20, because he's suffered more than you have. Right? Let's flash back 20 minutes ago, and he's talking about getting texts and getting chewed out for breaking records, not making money, and here's Jay's out on the boat on Thursday. So, but at the same time, this is someone who you can map yourself against. Look at what he's doing. Look at his social media. Give him a follow. Throw some hearts. Throw a fire emoji in the comments. You're feeling extra zealous, but give yourself the permission to look in the mirror and go, I'm not where I want to be. And that's okay. Right? Don't beat yourself up. Just make a decision to move forward and go, I'm going to start doing some of this stuff. I'm going to buy leads every Monday and every Thursday. I'm going to get my team going. I'm going to start recruiting more. I'm going to take calls all the time. I'm not going to make excuses for why my business isn't growing. And I'm going to believe bigger much sooner. So John, dude, amazing, brother. What's the number? What's the goal? What are you going to be at by convention? What do you
I will be, hands down, I'll say it in front of everyone, I will be the fastest. We will be the fastest to grow to $1 million a month in FFL history. And if we aren't, I did everything I said. I did everything I could. Right. So, and I'm cool with that.
I love it, bro. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. And we're all cheering you on, man. Everybody, light up those comments real quick. Throw some JRs, throw a fire emoji, throw an eggplant. I don't give a crap. Just throw some love down in the chat below for everything that John poured out and shared for us today. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Have an amazing day and keep crushing. Let me know if I can help with anything.
Thank you. Peace.
All right. All right, everybody. You know, it's an amazing business that we have here. And John is proving it that he walked away from something where he had ownership, he had significant income. And despite the frustrations he may have had at his upline or whatnot, he was making money there at that company and walked away to come here. And now he's exploding inside of our environment. Are you not yet exploding? Are you not yet attacking this business at the level and mindset at which you have dreamt about? I mean, I think all of us have another gear. So take this call, take this insight, and let's use it. So we're going to add something new to the call starting today. I'm going to call it our moment of Zen. And I'm going to share my favorite sales reel that I've found on the internet over the past week. And so today, your moment of Zen is coming from Brian Tracy. We're going to pass it over to Brian, close us out, and we'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. Bye for now.
This is worth $1 million to you over the course of your career. This one piece of advice is people don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your company. The only thing they care about is what this product or service does for me. They want a change in their life, an improvement, a result, a benefit, or highest of all is a transformation. Here's the rule. 15% of buying behavior is determined by the past. 85% of buying behavior is determined by the anticipated future. What is going to happen as a result of me buying? The reason they buy is that they feel that the quality and quantity of the improvement will be greater than the cost.